Okay, so there's no secondary agents for this. So we can go to floor plan. There's no floor plan for our small term letting, but you could add one. And you can also add property subunits. So you may have a property that is split, almost like a bed and breakfast where you have different rooms, for example. And you could split that into subunits. Then the property booking. So this particular tab on this area is something that we had to develop and integrate into this theme. So by default, this doesn't come with a theme, but we have added it here. And that's how we're able to get this to show. So that's it for the page settings. The show title I've already taken you through. It just makes that secondary heading or the duplicated heading not appear. This is very important. For long-term rentals you can use one of these, and for short-term you can use this one. Transparent header. Okay, so we don't want that to display because we have a very specific style for this page. But if we go to, for example, the About page, you can see what a transparent header setting looks like. It makes the white header disappear and everything is see-through. Advanced search, that's for, you can have that, but it will then appear right at the top of this page, which we don't want. And then the header type, well, we've got that set to global, so you don't have to change that. But if you wanted to, you could do a video header, a Google Map, a Revolution slider. There's quite a few different options you could have. So, okay, so that's it. This is where you add your description of the property, which comes up here. If you want to highlight anything, you could highlight the text and then give it for example, a heading 5. Or you could highlight and select bold. And then if I were to refresh this page, this is going to be bigger now. There it is, because we made that an H5. You can also, we can add, we're probably going to add to these options here once we get to the blogging section, which will apply to the rest of the site. But for now, these are the options that we're limited to. Okay, so you can see all these different types of categories. You can actually, so let me just quickly update the page, but we can remove these categories. The way to do that is to go to our properties navigation bar, then go to categories. And we probably are going to want to delete all of these other settings. Now, if you want to, you can add a new category here. You could say let's just say bed B&B. And then the slug would be BB, because you can't have an ampersand, which is that, in a slug. And then you could click add property category. But we don't need this, so I'll just delete it. And then if I go back to our properties page, we're going to be able to see that all those property category options are now gone, since we only have one category type. So we've only got apartment now. In terms of action, I would say it should only be short. You should only take short-term or long-term stays. For city, we can also remove the city from here. The neighborhood, what I would do for neighborhood is actually write down the suburb. So for Edinburgh I'll keep, but I want to remove Chicago and Falkirk from here, because we're only advertising in one city for now. And so the Great King Street residence is, let me just look it up on Google Maps so I can see whereabouts it is. Maybe I can just do it here. I'm going to be able to see, I should be able to see what suburb it is in. So I would say it's either in Edinburgh Newtown or Bonington. So what I'll do is it's kind of right in the middle, so let's see what we can choose. So you've selected Newtown, which is great. So you could even probably select, Bonington as well, since it's so close to there. And the country and state, you should select the country as well. I see you figured out how to add the featured image, which is great. And then finally, the excerpt is what is going to show on our properties thumbnails. For example, on the properties page. So this is where the excerpt appears. Try and keep it to a small amount so that it doesn't overflow. So there's our page. We're pretty happy with this, and that'll do for this tutorial. Maybe I'll just quickly take you through the property settings again. There are more options that you can have. Actually, let me take you through the property page template that makes this page look like this. Although I don't suggest you edit it, because we went through a lot of trouble to actually build this page the way we thought would best benefit your customers and your guests. So to do that, we're going to go to our pages, all pages, and then we're going to find the short-term property page template. Click edit. And I'm going to try and show you the difference between the two. So this is built with a layout builder called Page Builder. So this is one row. This is another row. This is one row. This is one row with two columns, a big column there and a smaller column there. So in our first row, what have we got in here? Let's have a look. Just click edit on the text box and it appears empty. Okay, so let's go to that's probably where we were able to get this nice little bit of padding at the top. That's why we've got an empty row there. The next one is this. This is a row divided into one column, two columns. So there is our column structure. You can see it's 2/3, 1/3. If you need to change the structure, you can just click on any of these. We've got it set to this one. Inside this, we've got a text box. So you just click text, a text block. And actually, it's a property page text detail, but it could have been a text box. So what we did is we said, okay, add a see all these yellow ones? These are the ones you can add to this page. So we've got it set to property page only, text with details. So we could add that. And then if you scroll down, you can add any of these